Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Amit. In the previous video, we have learned about the HTML and we know about the HTML. So today we will start the HTML elements and HTML attributes. So let's start. So first I will understand about the elements. So what is the HTML elements? HTML element is defined by the starting tag and some contents and the closing tag. So HTML elements all about the HTML tag. Whatever tag starts from the tag and hold the some contents and contain the closing tag. So that is called HTML elements. For example, if this is the HTML and it has contained the HTML closing tag, so that is one element. That is one element inside the both starting tag and ending tag. Between you can write some contents like this. So that is the whole elements. If I talking about the another element, for example, if I have one h1 tag holding some content, and it has also closing tag. H1 is the opening tag and content, some holding some content, and it has some closing tag. So that is called element. That is one element. That is one element. That is called one element. Okay. So that is the element. An HTML element is defined by the starting tag, some content, and the ending tag. So that is called element. So there are a lot of HTML elements available. This is the tag name, starting tag name, some content here, and this is the closing tag. So whole these thing define the HTML elements. Okay. Some HTML elements are there. H1 is the H1 to H6 is the HTML elements. Paragraph tag also the elements, HTML elements, because it has a starting tag and ending tag holding some contents between the starting and ending. Okay. So that is the HTML elements. Okay, we'll move to the another nested elements. So what is the nested element? Nested elements means it hold some elements holding the another elements. So that is called nested element. For example, one HTML elements hold the another elements, that is called head. That is called head, and head also holding the another elements. Head also holding the another element, that is called title. Title. It has some title here. It has some title here and closing tag. So that is called the nested element, because HTML elements holding the head element and head element holding the title. That is the nesting. One element contain another element. That is called nesting. Nested element. An HTML element can be nested. This means that the element can contain other elements. Okay. All HTML document consist of the nested elements, nested HTML elements. All HTML documents consist of the nested elements. For example, HTML body, H1, P. So some elements holding the nested elements. Okay, that is the example. So how it looks like. And some HTML elements have no contents. Like br tag, hr tag. So that is, these elements are called empty elements. Empty element do not have any ending tag. Okay. Some empty elements are there. Empty elements. Some empty elements are there, like br for breaking the line. There are no contents and no closing tag. Okay. And another is hr. So there is no it will show horizontal line, and there are no closing tag. Okay, there are no closing tag, so these elements called as empty elements. Okay, empty elements. And some elements contain the closing tag and some content data, so that is called elements. Okay, I will show you one example. So first, write the doc type doc type doc type is html. Doc type is html. And again, open the html tag, and close html, close html, close html. Inside the html we need to write some head element, head, and closing head. After that, head holdings title, whatever title we need to display in the title bar, title. So this is the element. Okay, close the title tag, close the title tag. Okay, and after that we need to write the open the body tag and close the body tag, because body also the element tag. Okay, inside the body I will write one h1 tag and close the h1 also. This is the example, this is the example of element. Okay, elements, this is the example of elements. And right, this is the block level elements. Okay, so I will show you the br tag and hr tag, why we will use. Okay, first I will show you. First, save the file. And what is the extension of saving the file? .html, .html. Inside the desktop I will save first my file, element dot html. Okay, save inside the desktop. Go to the desktop, element, and run it. Okay, this is the elements and this is the title. Okay, this is the element title. Okay, go to the code, go to the code, go to the code, go to the code. I will write one inline element. I will write one inline element, that is the anchor tag. A it will provide the link. Okay, anchor tag, why we will use, in the previous video I already explained. Anchor tag provide the link. Okay, so that is the gmail. I will provide here the gmail link, href is the attribute. Inside the attribute I will provide the gmail, https colon double slash gmail.com. Okay, and another attribute is the target. It will open the gmail into new tab. Okay, so blank, save it. And again I will use another elements, that is the image, img. src is the attribute. Inside the src I will provide the image path, and another attribute is the alt. Inside the alt I will provide the message. If src source file any path is not valid, then it will display. Okay, no image. Oh, close the image tag also. Inside the src I will provide the path. I will show you my system image, some system image. In the last video I have shown uh, the google file. Okay, but today I will show you the local image. Okay, this is the image. This image I will show you. So what is the path? I will copy the path, click on the right click. This is available inside the desktop. Image, this image I will show you. Okay, this is the path. Copy and paste here, paste. After slash name, image name. The name is copy. And what is the image type? Dot jpg. Okay, image name dot jpg. Okay, save it, save it, and go to the browser. I will show you. Refresh it. See, I think there are some path issue. I think some path issue. That's why it's not displaying. Okay, there are some path issue. And that's why it's not displaying. It's showing the no image. Okay, so I will show you the why use the br tag and hr tag. Okay, so if you see, so anchor tag and image tag both are displaying in one line. Okay, but h1 is showing in the single line because h1 and paragraph are the block level elements, and anchor tag, span, and image tag are the inline elements. That's why it's showing. So in that case, if I want to display no image, this tag in the down of the Gmail, so I will use the br tag. Here I will use the br, so it will break the line. It will break the line. See, it's going to another line, right? If I will use another br, if I will use another br, again it will break. See, again it will break. It's going to another new line. And if I will use hr tag here, hr tag, so what will happen? See, I'm using hr, so it's displaying one horizontal line. hr means horizontal line. Okay, so these are the empty elements. There are no closing tag. Okay, so these are the empty elements, hr and br. So I will I'm trying to explaining the br and hr also. Okay, move to the another. What I already explained. H1 is the heading tag. S1 to S6. These are the S6 heading tag, and P is the paragraph tag. So if I want to display the paragraph, so I will use the paragraph tag also. Okay. Empty tag I already explained. BR is the empty tag for breaking the line, and HR also empty tag. It will use to display the horizontal line. Okay. So we'll move to the attributes. We'll move to the attribute. What is the attribute? HTML attribute provide the additional information about the tag, about the HTML elements, about the HTML tag or HTML elements. Attributes is the additional information in the sense of, if I'm using a image tag, if I'm using the image tag, so image tag also contain the some source and src and alt. So src and alt is the attribute. It will define the image property. It will define the image property, because if you will use only a image tag, so nothing means, right? So define some property of image tag, so we need to use attributes. So yes, rc and alt is the attributes. If I talking about the anchor tag, anchor link tag, so link tag also holding some targets and href. Without href and target, nothing means of anchor using the anchor tag, right? So href is the attribute of a tag. Okay, target is the attribute of a tag. So that is the attribute. HTML attribute. All HTML elements can have attributes. So all HTML elements contain some attributes. Attributes provide the additional information about the elements. Attributes are always specify the starting tag. And one more important things, attribute always define into the starting tag. Inside the starting tag, always you can define the attribute inside the starting tag. Inside the starting tag, attribute are always specify the start tag. Okay, attribute usually come in the name value pair, like name and value. Always if you able to see, href also contain the key and value pair, name and value. Name is the attribute name href, and value is the http://google.com. And also if you see target blank, so target is the attribute name and blank is the value. Okay, and if I talking about the image src is the attribute name and this path is the value. Okay, and alt also the attribute name and it's holding the some value. So always attribute usually comes in a name and value pair like this one. Okay, the href attribute used inside the anchor tag holding the href attribute. I will provide the URL path, image path or URLs inside the href, just like this. Okay, and image inside the image, I will use the src tag, src attribute inside the image tag. I will use the src attribute holding the image path. Okay, there is the some difference I will show you. Src, there are two way to specify the URL inside the src attribute. Inside the image src attribute two way the specify the URL, two-way they specify the URL. First is absolute URL and second is relative URL. Absolute URL means link to an external image that is hosted on the another website. Absolute URL means if you will provide the exact path, whatever path defined to the third party. For example, facebook 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 Facebook, that is the hosted in the different places, right? That is hosted into the different places, right? So this path is the absolute path. This path called as a absolute path, absolute URL, whatever URL define into the define hosted into the another website, that is called absolute URL. Whatever URL if you enter inside the and absolute URL, if you have internet, if your laptop connected into the internet, then you will able to access the absolute path. Okay, absolute URL, if your PC connected to the internet, then you will able to access the absolute URL. So whatever URL hosted in the another places, another website, that is called absolute URL. I will show you the example. H1, close H1, absolute URL. I will show you absolute URL. Absolute URL. I will use one anchor tag. No, I will use one image src equal to https://facebook.com. Okay. Use anchor tag here. href that is the Facebook. Okay, anchor tag close. So that is the absolute URL. If you click on this link, Facebook link, so you will navigate to the Facebook page. If your internet is not connected, so you are not able to access the Facebook, right? So that is the absolute URL. Whatever URL hosted into the third party, hosted into the another web application, and your internet must be connected. Your laptop means your laptop is connected to the internet. Then you will able to access the URL. That is called absolute URL. Target equal to blank. And another is what is another URL? Another relative URL. Okay, relative URL h1, that is relative URL. What is the relative URL? Relative URL, you will use the local path. If you are able to access the local file or local HTML page, so that is called relative URL. I will show you. So that is the my app. that is the another application I already created, right? That is the another application I already created, and it also saved, it is also saved in my PC. So I will show you. I will go here and copy the path, copy the path of this file, copy the path of this file, and copy the path of this file, and paste here, paste in our code, paste in our code. That is the local path, right? File, that is the local path, that is the local path in my PC, local path, whatever path is available in my PC. So I will show you, save it and refresh here, refresh here. If I am clicking on the Facebook, so it's redirecting to the third party URL, whatever connected to the internet. Okay, if I click on here, here we need to change name. Here you can change name here, just like a relative relative URL. Okay, save it. So if you click on relative URL, so it's redirected to the local page. Local, it's redirecting to the local page, whatever page you created in your local PC, whatever page you created in your local PC. So it redirected in your local, right? And if you click on the Facebook, so it's redirecting to another page that is already hosted in the website. So if you seeing, if you understand the definition of relative URL, link to an image that is hosted within the website. Here, the URL does not include the domain name. See, URL does not include the domain name. Does not include the domain name. If you see, there is no domain name, right? There is no domain name. But absolute URL contain the domain name. If you see domain name.com, right? Domain name, absolute URL also contain the domain name, but relative URL not contain the domain name. If you see here, not contain the domain name. If the URL being without slash, it will be relative to the current page. Example src image imagegirl.jpg. That is the relative URL which is available in my local PC. Okay, if the URL begin with a slash, it will be related to the domain. For example, like this, right? So that is the domain URL. So relative URL, in the simple way, relative URL, whatever URL you use in the local PC, local PC path, if you use in your application, that is the relative URL. If you want to use domain URL, whatever URL hosted in the third party website, so that is the absolute URL. Okay, and image tag also contains some width and height attribute. Width and height attribute, if we will provide the width and height, so it will display based on the providing height and width. Alt also the some attributes for displaying the message. If your src path is incorrect, then alt will execute. Okay, so these are another attribute. Another attribute is style. Style is the another attribute. Okay, I will show you. I will show you style. I already explained the src. I already explained the alt. Okay, so again I will show you. First, I will provide some image path. Mobile image. I will provide the mobile image. Copy image address and paste it here inside the src. Oh, sorry. Copy image address. Compose it. Okay. Save it. Refresh the page. So if you are able to see, your image is display. So another attribute is width, right? Another attribute is width. I will provide width 200 pixel, and another attribute is height. If I will provide height 200 pixel, then you will able to see. Refresh the page, so you able to see your image display based on the height and width. So what is the another attribute? Another attribute is style. Style is the another attribute. Okay, style is the another attribute. So I will show you how to provide the style. If I want to provide style, if I want to provide style to h1 tag, so I will use the style attribute, and inside the style I will provide the color equal to color colon red. I will provide the color red to absolute URL. Okay, refresh the page. So if you able to see, if you able to see, this is the red color. It will showing the red color. I will provide here style in the another attribute, another element, h1 element. I will provide the background, 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 background green, background green, and color, 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 color is color white, color white. Save it, refresh the page. So if you see, your color, text color is showing white and background showing green. Okay, so that is the style attribute. And another attribute is lang attribute. Lang attribute why use? You should always include the lang attribute inside the html tag. Lang only you will provide inside the html tag. It will provide the language tag to declare the language of web page, language of web page. This is meant to assist search engine to and browser. Okay, lang only use inside the html inside. You can use only lang, lang, lang equal to en means english. En is the english. Okay, so it will provide the language of the browser. Okay, and another attribute is title. If you want to provide the title, so you can use the title attribute. Defines some extra information about the element. The title elements provide the extra information about the elements. So I will show you, I will use here one another hr. First I will use another br for breaking the line. I will use the one hr for horizontal line, and I will use here one paragraph and close the paragraph also. I will provide the html. Okay, here I'm writing the html. So inside the title attribute I will provide the full form of html. So hypertext markup language. Please ignore the spelling. Language. Okay, save it. I will show you how to display. See, if you see, it's showing only the html. If you over the mouse, so you will able to see hypertext markup language. That is the title. That is the benefit of using title attribute. That is the benefit of using the title attribute. See, if you remove your mouse from html, so it's hide. If you over your mouse, so it will display the full form of hypertext markup language, whatever you will provide inside the title. So you will use any you will use inside the any attribute, any elements. Okay, if I want to use inside the h1 tag, I will provide one h1 here. I will provide one h1. Close the h1. I will provide here css. Okay, css. So I will provide the full form of css inside the title attribute. Cascading style sheet. Okay, save it. See, if you over your mouse, so you are able to see the full form of the css. So that is the benefit of attributes. Okay, so some attributes completed. So in the next video we will move in the next video we will move to the heading, paragraph and style in the separate. Okay, so I already covered the all attributes: href, src, width and height, alt, style, lang and title. Okay, so we'll meet on the next video. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you so much.